Hello, Professor Patak sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we start? Almost 70 attendees are here.
Yes, ma'am.
Or should we wait for just 1 to 2 minutes?
Okay. We will start at 5 minutes.
Yes, sir. We'll wait for 2 minutes. Good afternoon to all. It's a request to Mr. Amol Mahajan sir. Can you please turn on your camera?
Sure.
We'll start with our day 4. Once again, good afternoon to all. Good afternoon, sir.
Okay.
We'll start with the introduction of our eminent personality. So let me introduce them. It is my great pleasure to introduce today's expert speaker, Mr. Mahajan, Amol Mahajan sir. He is Generative AI Solution Architect, AI Technical Lead, and Data Scientist with the extensive experience in Generative AI, Agentic AI, RAG, and LLM Ops. He has successfully developed AI solutions for education technology, healthcare, and finance sectors, and holds a globally recognized certification from AWS, Microsoft Azure, Databricks, and the IBM. We are delighted to have Mr. Amol Mahajan sir with us today. So on behalf of Department of Data Science, R.C. Patel Institute of Technology, Shirpur, I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Amol Mahajan sir and invite him to deliver a today's session. Sir, please.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am. So, hi guys. Good morning. First of all, to each one of you. As you might have got a little bit of brief about me, still I'll add few more points. I have almost 7 years of experience working into this AI, ML, and data science domain. In this 7 years, I've explored almost all the verticals of data science, be it machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, generative AI, And from last almost 3 to 4 years, I have been extensively working into this agentic AI, LLM, LangChain, LangGraph kind of domain likewise. So I've had good exposure onto different domains as well, be it banking, fintech, healthcare, predictive modeling, supply chain management, inventory forecasting. So good number of domains I have worked with, which has helped me in order to understand the client's problem quite well. Okay, we'll start with today's agenda. So before going on and jumping to know about RAG, AI agents, intelligent AI application, what is your understanding about AI? Let's try and make the session more interactive. What do you guys mean by AI?
Yes, attendees and the participants are requested to interact with the sir. So to have our session very interactive and the beneficial to us.
Yes,
So
you have been
actually
attending the
AI,
session from last 3 days, I guess, right?
yes. This is our day 4, sir. On day 1, we have had the introduction of the generative AI. Then on second day, we had different and the various tools regarding the teaching and learning. And on day 3, we had a session on the LLM, understanding basic concepts of the LLM. So participants, you can put your answer in the chat box to have very interactive session with the Amol Mahajan, sir.
Sure.
So
So as few of you guys are mentioning that it is more like a mimicking human behavior or mimicking the decision making power of a human being, this is exactly what we mean when we talk about AI likewise. Okay. Now we'll focus on to the next aspects, which is different tools that are being used for this and what are the different ways in which we can use it effectively on day-to-day basis. I'll just quickly start by sharing my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
yes, sir, visible.
Okay. So I've broadly divided this today's agenda into three small modules, and at the end we'll have some exercise or use cases to discuss upon so that you guys can think of different ways in which you can use this AI tools in your day-to-day basis to enhance your productivity likewise. So for today's agenda, first we'll focus on the foundation model, why standalone LLM is falling short enough in terms of giving good answers, and what are the different other techniques that we can use in order to improvise it. Then in the second module, we'll talk about RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation. What were some of the challenges that were not getting fulfilled using LLM? We will cover those, how they were getting resolved using RAG likewise. Then we'll have some AI agents. So again, there were some challenges in RAG as well, which was being fulfilled once we had this AI agent in picture. And then once we multiply multiple AI agents, or once we integrate multiple AI agents together, it forms an intelligent AI application likewise. So we'll have this 4 modules covered today. So the objective behind this is explaining what LLM model is, what hallucination is, how the architecture diagram of looks how it looks like. Then we'll understand the components of RAG, as in retrieval augmented generation likewise, which is the core principle behind creation of any kind of chatbots on industry level applications, and then followed by some activities. First, we'll try and understand the landscape of AI and different type of applications. Before this, I'll just quickly take you to this specific slide. So over here, you can read a little bit about what is AI, ML, DL, NLP, GenAI, and what is the data science. So AI is nothing but when we combine different types of techniques together to make the system understand or mimic the reasoning capacity or decision making capacity of a human, it is nothing but called as an AI in comparison with machine learning and data analyst. So what a data analyst versus what as a machine learning engineer do is, as a data analyst you will be just revolving around the data, trying to understand the data, and based on some rules you can make the prediction, but there are no guarantee whether those predictions will be correct or incorrect. And these are not predictions, these are results on your current data, not the upcoming data. Whereas when once you start using machine learning, what it does is it helps you to understand the past data. Your model is getting trained on the past data, historical data, and based on that, the model tries and understand the hidden trends and patterns inside your data. And based on that, the model is able to give predictions or predict something which can be used in the near future. Then machine learning models are specifically used for working with numerical data, tabular data likewise. But what about textual data? So for that, we have this natural language processing, which basically means when we are working with textual data or a data which has some text, comments, sentiments. These particular problems are solved using natural language processing algorithms. Then what about image? Because numerical data was handled in machine learning, textual data was getting handled in natural language processing. The deep learning is specifically used for handling or dealing with image type of data. So what do? We fragment those images into small pixels and then try and understand the different patterns or features from that pixels and then predict whether this is a dog, whether this is a cat, or depending upon the use case likewise. Then when we have to generate something, not just understand the reality or the pattern or the history behind it, when we have to generate something, then we use generative AI. It can be used for generation of text, new context, new images, music, any particular type of data they would like to generate, you can use GenAI for that. And talking about data science basically means it is a combination of scientific method, probability, statistics, different types of algorithms, some domain knowledge, some rules, whether you are dealing with structured data or unstructured data. When you try to combine all of these together, it forms into the category of data science. Any questions till this? Okay. Let's move on to the next part. This is how basically the broad umbrella looks like. We have the major umbrella of AI, in which we have ML, in which we have DL, and data science consists of all of this combined together. Now, let's look at some of the key steps in that are being executed in any specific data science project. What is the first step? The first step is related to understanding the problem statement. Once you have understood the problem statement, then you go for this data collection. What do you do in that? You try to gather the relevant data from different type of sources. It can be client data, it can be some other specific type of data. Once you have gathered the data, the second step comes in, which is data cleaning and preparation. Because there is a very famous term saying garbage in, garbage out. What does it mean? If you treat your model with incorrect data, inconsistent data, unclean data, your model's output would not be reliable enough. So what do? You clean your data, pre-process your data, remove any kinds of outliers, impurities, missing values, null values, duplicate values likewise, and then give it to the model. The third step is the most important step, which is exploratory data analysis, also called as EDA. What do we do in this? We basically work as a data analyst. We sit and try and understand the impact of each and every input feature on the target column. Let's say, for example, I'm trying to build a house price prediction model. So in this, can you help me with some of the input features that could be there? Yes. You can list down in the chat as well. What could be some of the input features that we can use?
This can be your number of rooms, square foot area, location.
Exactly.
Is it
And
price?
Price, so chalo, we are trying
Price
to
with
predict
your
the
label.
price, right?
Label.
Output.
Label. Yes. Output.
Any other input features?
Yes, participants, you can answer.
Plot size, location as in tier 1, tier 2 city, right? How big is the society, total number of amenities in that, nearest landmarks, accordingly we'll be deciding, right? So these could be the possible input features. So once we have this feature, we'll try and do the analysis of each of those features with the target column. What is the target column? In my case, target column is the price of the house. Before that, going for any further prediction, what do? We go ahead for feature engineering. What do you mean by feature engineering? We create new features based on the existing features. Just say, do you think my machine learning model will be able to understand what I mean by 3 BHK or 4 BHK? Right? Machine learning model just understand numerical data. It doesn't know what is BHK. It will understand carpet area, total area, square foot, those things it can understand. So what I'll do, I'll convert that 3 BHK into total number of rooms. 3 bedroom, 1 kitchen, 1 hall, right? So I can convert it into 4-room apartment. 4 BHK can be converted into 6-room apartment, likewise. So these type of steps we need to take care based on that. Next comes the part of model building. So in this, you will have to train your model. Let's say if it is a continuous problem like price prediction, yield prediction, profit prediction. So you can use linear regression type of use cases. But let's say if you're trying to do some classification sort of algorithm, whether this person is positive, negative, survived, not survived. These type of use cases are there. Then you'll use logistic regression or decision tree kind of algorithms. So once you have done the model building, we go ahead and do the model evaluation. Why? Because this is very important. You cannot go to the client saying that, hey, I'm done with the project. Client will ask, did you evaluate it? What were some of your results? Because there needs to be some kind of success metric behind believing whether this project is successful or not successful, whether we are going to implement it or not implement it like this. So based on that, we'll do the model evaluation. Once we feel after evaluation the model results are not good, we can again carry out some of those steps, repeat it using different techniques, and then try and see whether the results are accurate enough or not. Once done with all of those things, we'll go for deployment. Deployment basically means you have done the model building locally in your system, correct? The client will not come and access your laptop, right? The client is not going to work in your PC. So you need to deploy this solution somewhere out there into any other cloud platform so that it can be accessed by anyone, anywhere, likewise at any point of time. That's why we go ahead for deployment. Once deployment is done, we go for model monitoring and maintenance. Can you list down some of the use cases where we can use machine learning algorithms? Like one I've already told in the chat, which is house price prediction. Any other use case you can think of? Use case can be predicting something yes or no. Use case can be predicting some continuous values as well. Where exactly in healthcare? Can you be more specific?
Mobile resale.
ठीक है, Cashify kind of platforms where when we try to
Whenever
find
we
out
are we want to resell the mobile, what can be the price
correct
based on the
next
features?
good example.
Participants, you can interact with the sir to have our
I guess they
session
are
very.
not able to unmute themselves.
No, they are interacting through a chat box. Sir. We have made the setting to mute all. They are going to interact with
It would
you
be
through a
better
chat
if
box.
they can unmute and talk like this.
Okay,
Because
okay, no problem, sir. No problem.
someone said customer segmentation. Great. Can you give an example of customer segmentation? Yes, Yogesh. Where exactly do we do customer segmentation?
Okay, all are now unmute. You can interact with sir directly.
Sir, customer segmentation like Horlicks like product, where we have women's Horlicks, children Horlicks.
ठीक है, हाँ, great. Again, one of the great example. You can think of this customer segmentation into one more way. Let's say the number of calls, the spam calls that you get versus your students get. Who get more number of calls, be it related to insurance, credit card, any particular property or any plot? Who gets more call? You or your students out there? You, right? Why? Because they have the data, they have your transaction history, they know your monthly in hand component. Based on that, they are able to know, okay, this person has this capacity of spending XYZ amount on daily basis or monthly basis or yearly basis. That's why they have done this segmentation. So they don't call the college people or who are recently passed out likewise. They try and target these particular type of people to whom they think that they can purchase those particular products. Right, email spam or ham. Again, good example that we use in Gmail, right? Automatically, the marketing emails or any kind of scam emails get categorized into the spam. Ride fare detection. Again, Ola, Uber, in which the prices are dynamically calculated. It is also one of the use cases. Any other use case you can think of? Not just classification or regression, any other use case. Anything that you use on day-to-day basis in which you feel behind this also we have something related to machine learning or anything as such. Google Maps traffic prediction, ETA prediction as an estimated time of arrival. Good. And loan approval. Good. Perfect. I was waiting for this. Recommendation engine. Where all do you see this recommendation engine working? Stock price prediction. Okay, good example. Recommendation engine, where do you see it working? You might be using Instagram, you might be using Facebook, you might be using YouTube Shorts, right? Flipkart, Amazon, all of them have this recommendation engine. As soon as you go and purchase a mobile, automatically it suggests while doing the checkout, do you like to go for this mobile cover? Do you like to go for the screen guard likewise? So how do they know? Based on the recommendation system. YouTube has it, Netflix has it, Instagram has it. Let's say someone is more into car or bike related videos, he'll automatically be recommended similar kind of stuff likewise. Flipkart is there, phone unlocking, yes, face recognition is also one of the examples. Okay, good. I have listed down some of the examples based on different domains. Just read through it. I guess most of the examples you guys have already discussed. If there is anything that is unclear, please feel free to unmute and ask. In the business domain and the finance domain, government also uses it. Healthcare and marketing domain also we use it. Any questions, anyone till this part?
So all these are the part of the data science or AI?
Again, this is the part of data science only, right? Because you're trying to club multiple things together. Let's say even if we are doing customer segmentation, it is not just the machine learning algorithm. There is some statistics, some probability, some domain expertise, some rule-based engine behind it. That's why AI is a broader umbrella in which we have the small component, and data science consists of all of this combined together. Any other questions, guys? Okay. We'll jump on to the next part, the application and the landscape. Now, before trying to understand where a standalone LLM falls short, I would like you guys to do a quick activity. You might be having the access to the chats, right? I want you to type one specific tool that you use on your day-to-day basis and one specific task that you use it for. Let's say someone will say for creation of posters, for writing emails, or writing messages to students likewise. So you can mention the tool name that you use and the task that you use it for. Along with that, I also want you to write one use case wherein you think you can use AI but you are not able to use it. So two statements from each one of you. You have next 2 minutes. Just try and mention those things into the chats. One use case where you use AI and which tool you use, whereas one use case in which you think you can use it, but you don't know or you are not aware whether it will be feasible or possible or not.
Attendees can put your answer in the chat box.
Canva posters, okay. Be more specific, as in what do you mean by Canva poster? Like whether you are doing it or you would like to do it, so that I can recommend some tools from my end. Claude, you guys use it for preparing diagrams. Okay, great. Instead of Claude, you should use this Nano Banana model of Gemini. That is comparatively good. Claude for analyzing research papers. Great. There is option in ChatGPT and Claude both in which you have a deep research option or deep thinking option. So once you turn that on, again, that will be very beneficial for you because it will take time, but it will do a thorough research. Notebook LM for taking notes. Perfect. Any specific task in which you think that you should AI, but you are not able to figure it out? How? Why? Okay, Swati is saying using it for research purpose, but cannot be able to use it effectively for diagrams for those research. Okay, we'll come to that as well. Yes, what about others? Any specific activity that you're not able to do with any specific AI tool, writing blogs again, all LLM tools can do it. Yes. Any other thing? Okay. For everyone out there, since you have mentioned some of the tasks, let's say, for example, Jayashree has mentioned she is using Notebook LM for the notes. Can you just write down the prompt that you give to the Notebook LM? Or let's say someone has said making Canva poster. What is the prompt that you generally give for creation of that? If you have it ready, you can copy paste it. If you don't have ready, any specific task that you do on day-to-day basis, either creation of email or creation of curriculum, just copy paste that specific prompt in the chat. I would like to see how do you guys use prompting and where we can address or fill that gap. Jyoti is saying creating or modifying our photos, images using ChatGPT, it is not satisfactory. Yeah, it changes the facial expressions or the facial structure of that respective person. But again, for that, we have some set of prompts by which we can make sure that the face remains as it is. Yes, guys, do share your prompt in the chat. You can use ChatGPT, you can use Claude, any specific thing that you have done using that tool. What is the prompt that you have been using? Then I'll tell you how you should rewrite that prompt. I'll give an example. Let's say you're working in a small startup, right? You have to send a report of quarter 3 to your CEO. What would be the prompt that you will use while uploading the Excel file in order to get this thing done? Take 2 minutes of time and write down that prompt. Yeah, Dhananjay, I shared that prompt. Yeah, it's perfect. The question is, let's say you're working in a small startup or with a CEO, and now you at next half an hour you have to present a report to that CEO, wherein you have to highlight the quarter 3 results, right? What would be the prompt that you will give to ChatGPT or Claude, any other tool out there, along with that Excel file? I want you to write that prompt. I would like to see how you describe your problem to ChatGPT or any other tool. Guys, be quick. Write the prompt on your own. Don't get it improvised using any other tool.
Participants are requested to write the prompt in the chat box. Sir has already given a scenario.
Okay. Shepard Kulkarni has mentioned act as a role first, define the problem. Can you write the detailed prompt? Transform the uploaded image into a photo, stick portrait, preserve the persons. Okay. Prepare the quarterly report for attached Excel data. That's it. Do you think that with this, whatever report will come in, you'll be able to directly present it to the CEO? You need to make sure that you just have half an hour or you just have 15 minutes of time. You cannot go like with ChatGPT, you have given some prompt, then it comes to you want me to add this? Yes. Do you want me to add this? Yes, yes, yes. You don't have to go through multiple iterations. In just one go, if the results are produced and you have to share it with the CEO, what would be your prompt that you'll give? As an expert, we have some more prompts. XYZ company suggests a report in 300 words on the last quarter profit or loss. I need to discuss it. Please be very specific and crisp. Okay, this is good. We can then specify the corrections. But again, you don't have enough time, right? Because anyhow, once the report is generated, you're not going to present it directly. You'll have to make some minor changes, add company's name, logo, header, footer, and those things, which will eventually take time. You'll have to do a dry run as well with yourself. Prepare the report with key highlights based on the provided Excel data. Prepare summary from Excel data. Any other inputs, guys? If anyone is writing, we can wait. prepare a quarter 3 report as per the data I have attached that can be presented in 30 minutes with better visual representation. Okay. How many of you know about different types of prompt engineering techniques? Can you name some of those? Dhananjay is saying prepare a comprehensive quarter 3 presentation report based on the attached data. The presentation should be designed to fit in within 30 minutes of presentation. You have 30 minutes left to attend the presentation. It's not like you're going to present it for 30 minutes. No one has this time to go through a detailed report. Few shot, one shot, chain of thoughts, TOT is there. Okay. How many of you have heard of this RCFC framework? This RTCFC, which basically means role, task, context, format, and constraints. I'll just copy paste it in the chat. And now I want you to use this thing and then write the same prompt in this particular format. RTCFC. Let's take a 2 minutes of gap and then think and then properly write. No need to rush. Don't use any AI tool. Just write on your own. It will help you to improve your critical thinking. Those who are done can share it in the chat. If you're not able to understand any specific term or terminology, you can ask. Okay, we have one answer from Swati. Role is expert analyst. Next, the task is to generate a report based on the last quarter profit or loss. Context could be need to give a representation with the CEO in less than 30 minutes. Format, editable word format. Instead, you could mention more like a presentable format, or you can say informatic diagrams type of format, because that is self-explanatory. Please be very format and crisp, no nonsense. Okay, too harsh. Okay, any other examples? Guys, be quick. Act as an expert analyst for ABC company. Suggest a report in 300 words based on the last quarter profit and loss with graphical information to present it to CEO. And in 30 minutes, enhance the Twitter official format, avoid error, and check it twice after completion. Okay, good. What about others? I'll show you how this needs to be written. If you write it using RTCFC format, this is how basically it is going to look like. For example, this is a different problem statement, but you can correlate with it. As in role, what you're doing in role, you're specifying what should that Claude do, or who you are, like basically what role you are trying to assign, whether it to be a Claude or whether to a chat BTP. You're saying that act as a senior consultant, act as a senior data analyst likewise. Okay, first part is done. Next, you're focusing on task. What do you mean by task? In this, you will say what exactly needs to be produced. You can say draft a 200-word summary. You can say draft a 5-pager slide in which there would be infographic images and self-explanatory content, the key metrics, the profits, the loss, the details, and the key areas of focus. Right? In context, what do you write in context? What background does it need? That specifically you mention into the context, so that LLM also know, right, to whom you are presenting, what is your profile. Let's say a intern trying to present something was a versus a senior consultant trying to present something, two different people. A senior intern trying to present something to his lead versus a CFO or CEO is trying to present something to his end client. So the formatting could change a lot, right? How the details are explained, what is the infographic, what is the color combination you have choose. Likewise, so you have to give it a context for which you are saying for a CFO presenting it on to be Friday, likewise, right? You'll also mention the format. Format basically mean how should the output look like. You can say just 5 bullets you can add and maximum 100 words in order to keep it short, simple, and crisp. Any constraints basically means any specific thing that you would like not to do or to be very specific with. So you can say what are the limits, rules, or tones for it. Just say someone has written in the chat, right? No nonsense, likewise. Similarly, you can say it should have neutral tone, it should be crisp, clear, there should be no jargons, likewise. This is how basically you are supposed to write the prompt for getting that things done. We do have some more responses. The report based on there. You should write it in the same format, RTCFC. Instead, I would suggest instead of TC, if you use this detailed word, role this time, task this time. If you write it like that now, automatically you will need less number of iterations, and within 1 or 2 go itself you'll be able to reach to the actual output. Act as an expert analyst, having 15 years of experience, generate a quality report. Okay, this is also good. Any confusions, any queries, guys, as of now? Okay, we'll go back and jump to the topic. Before this, I would like to make you a little bit aware about the terms that we have in this. We can directly start with this one. How many of you are aware about the term called as embedding or word embedding? So word embedding basically means converting that textual data or the natural language data into a format so that it is easily able to be understood by the models. It can be a machine learning model or any other model, because no models are able to understand the textual data. Then we'll try and understand how we convert this into a textual format so that the model can understand it. I'll give you just some simple examples. Let's say if I'm just looking at 2 different dimensions, on the x-axis I have gender, on the y-axis I have age. I'm trying to correlate this different words just based on these 2 different axes. So what it will have, a boy generally has less age, gender axis where it came from, right? Child, child is something which is a bigger than boy, right? Infant is also bigger than boy. Girl in gender axis again, it is at the in the age level, it is again at like 1 or 2 years only we say that it is a girl. Similarly, if I'm trying to plot the dots for man, grandfather, adult woman, this is how the distribution is going to look like. So now we are just trying to understand these words based on 2 different aspects. One is age, other one is gender. How many different aspects could be there while trying to solve a real-time problem? Any guesses? Yes, Manjushri, any doubt? Or you can unmute. Ah. So we were focusing on these different words just based on 2 targets, which is age and gender. But in real time, we just don't generally have these 2 words, right? We have n number of different words. So in order to understand it, we will have a quick walkthrough of transformer, BERT, and how it basically works. So we have the semantic search. We'll just skip it because that is not important. We'll directly start with the working of transformer. We'll start from this. So any word that you have in your natural language, it is basically converted into vector format. So if you see the vector of king, this is how it looks like. Has a thought, king has authority, yes. Has tail, no. King is rich, yes. King ka gender is -1. Similarly for queen. So all words are converted into vector format first. Once we have vector, we then convert it with different matrix out there. As in, let's say authority, event, has tail, rich, and gender. We'll try to mark the representation of those different words based on these different vector dimensions that we're comparing. So again, yeah, it works similar like a mathematical equation only. Let's say if I'm doing king minus man plus woman, it will give you the vector representation of queen. So that mathematical format will try and understand it. So we were just looking at the king's dimension of a king in 5D. So in 5D, it will look like this. But in real time, the real models, as in ChatGPT and other models, are right there, right? They have 300 dimensions, more than 300 dimensions. So what happens in that, in 300 dimension, the vector of king is going to look like something like this. So this is like first, second, third, fourth, dot dot basically means the rest of the dimensions, and this is the last. So in 300 dimension, it looks like this. Any questions, any queries, guys, as of now? Okay, so this is the Google's word to vec model, which has almost 300 dimension. So for king, it will look like this. For queen, it will be somewhat different. How it works, let's say we are trying to just understand based on 3 different axes, X, Y, Z. This can be age, this can be gender, this can be some other factors, right? If you try to plot the graph or try to plot the vector of it, the king's vector is going to look like this. Queen vector would also be somewhat very close to this, right? Now, once we have understood what embeddings are and how they are generated, now we'll focus on the bigger aspect of it. Let's say for king, the embedding is going to remain same, right? Similarly, we have a word called as track. Track has 2 meanings. One is the railway track. Other track basically means I'm not able to track my package, which basically means you're trying to trace something, correct? So track representation is same. It is going to be written like this only 0.56111. Let's assume this is the 300 dimension vector embedding for the word track. But how can the model understand whether this track word is related to the railway track or the package? This is now the main concept that we are going to understand. Any questions, guys, till this? Again, can you tell me some other words similar to this, which can be used into different contexts and will have different meaning but have same spelling or same pronunciation? Bank, great. River bank and financial, as in SBI bank. If I tell a sentence, I went to the SBI bank, which was behind the Narmada River bank. This basically means I'm talking about one financial institution and one as a Nadi ka kinara or seashore likewise. Yes, for every word, model has some pre-generated dimensions, and based on that, the target that you're going to produce, it again follows the same thing. Har ek word ka it will generate those dimensions, those embeddings, and then it will check, okay, king is there and like raja is there. What is the difference between the angle of those two? So angular difference would be very less, so that we call as cosine similarity likewise. So whichever word will have lesser cosine similarity, that means they are very close or simple or similar to each other. Yes, guys, any other word apart from track and bank? Which have similar spelling, similar pronunciation, but can be used into different context. Watch. Okay, yeah. The wristwatch, or I'm trying to watch something on TV likewise. Train. Again, train basically means I'm trying to train my dog and my train is running late likewise. Take a gate. Tube, pipeline. Okay, good examples. Now we'll come back and see how the model is able to understand it. So we'll have to quickly brush up on some concepts of how the self-attention mechanism works, or how the transformer, the architecture was developed, right? Attention is all you need. The research paper was published. How it is ranking. I know most of you guys won't be able to understand it, but we'll try to focus a little bit on it. So for those who are able to catch it up, well and good. So let's say if I say today I had a very nice rice dish. What could be the possible output? Today I had a very nice rice dish called as dash. What would be the output before that? So Mohit, embedding basically means converting word into vector representation. Just we had this vector for king, queen, light, boy, girl, right? So those vectors are basically nothing but embeddings. So embedding basically means converting words to vector representation. Correct. Yeah, guys. Let's say I'm selling a sentence. You have to tell me what does it mean. The sentence is, today I had a very nice rice dish. What could be the possible output for it? Pulao, biryani, kheer. Okay. Take 2 minutes of time.
Meanwhile, attendees can post your answer in the chat box.
So I guess we have got some answers in the chat. Someone is saying pulao, biryani, kheer, right? Idli as well. But can you be very sure what exactly was the dish? No, right? This is something called as hallucination, or this is something the problem that you were facing before you were using this RTCFC framework. Why? Because you were not mentioning specific things. Let's say, in order to solve this specific problem, if I say today I had a very nice sweet rice dish, what would be the answer? Yes, kheer, correct. If I say spicy, you'll say biryani. If I say today I had a very nice traditional rice dish, what could it be? Pongal, right? So just because adding some context made you aware of coming very close to the actual answer. This is exactly what happens while you are working with this GPT and other types of model. So what it will do, it will try to calculate the attention score between the target word and the other words out there, and based on that, it will generate the understanding for it. As in, this track words basically means this. This track word is used in the context of train or the package likewise. For example, if I say I made a very nice rice dish called as, it can be anything out of these things, right? If I say Indian rice dish, again, recito, Mexican rice, both of those options get eliminated. Now you'll focus on Indian rice dishes, which are like idli, biryani, and kheer. If I say sweet, automatically idli option gets ignored, biryani option gets ignored. It will be either kheer or pongal. If I say traditional rice dish or festival oriented rice dish, you might be saying pongal, something like that. So, but just by adding more and more context, you are able to come to very close to the actual answer. Any questions, guys, till this? See, in 3D dimension, now we'll try and see how it looks like. Once I say today I had a very nice rice dish. Let's say if I say rice dish, riceness is getting added. Indian rice dish. Again, towards Indian angle, it is going to move a bit. If I say sweet, it will move towards the sweetness, and accordingly, the model will be able to figure out which specific dish you are talking about. Again, let's see. If you read through a specific sentence, I made a sweet Indian rice dish called, as you can say, kheer, right? Let's just assume for a second this word is not there. Now just read this entire sentence, and based on that, you tell me what could be the possible option of this word. Why did you think that वहाँ पे Indian आना चाहिए? Any other word you can think of which could be more suitable? Let's say instead of this particular sentence, I had Steve. Steve loves uh, pasta, pizza, and some other item, whereas Monica, on the other hand, likes Italian dishes likewise, right? And some other sentences are there. Then both of them after 20 minutes might have gone to, at that point of time यहाँ पे Indian नहीं आएगा. What will come? Italian restaurant. How did you come to conclusion? Because the ingredients that you have mentioned, the different likes and likes you have mentioned, it are more related to a Italian restaurant likewise. Similarly, the model takes that decision. Once you say this embedding is getting created based on dish, right? Dish word has this particular type of vector representation or embedding. Once you add riceness to this, it will look like this. This is the Indianness, this is the sweetness, and based on that, previously the vector representation of dish word was this, and now it is going to be represented something like this. Any questions till this part? Guys, feel free to unmute and say, because I won't be able to access chat every time. Hallucination basically means your model is assuming something, or it is just giving any random results instead of coming to the actual point. There might be some issues with the model as well, or there might be some issues with the end user who is using it. Just previously we are doing that exercise, right? Some of the people are saying, create me an end-to-end report. That basically means you have not specified exactly what you want to get done by the LLM tool. That doesn't mean model is hallucinating. That means you have not used effective prompt engineering technique in order to get the output.
So how we are getting that vector, I mean, vector dimension?
This all process is done at the backend, and the vector database or the model automatically does it. There are like different types of this being used. Like I have mentioned in the previous slide, right? Google word
We
to
are
vec
using
model.
the probability function for making this.
No. We are using vector database models for getting this thing done. It's stuck. Just a minute.
Any book you want to suggest me for?
Yeah, I'll tell that. See, Google's word to vec, if you use, it will automatically convert it into 300 dimension. If you use ADA 002, ADA 003 model, there are different types of model. Everyone has their different dimensions. So based on that, the model automatically does it. We don't have to sit and do it for each and every word. And it is already trained on large amount of data. So this is not like you are generating the embedding of king on the fly. The model is automatically having these different types of word, king, queen, and other types of like dosa, uttappa, almost all of those words embedding is already present into the model. It is just we are creating context rich embeddings. This is a context rich embedding, a contextual embedding. Why? This was a static embedding because it did not have anything associated. जैसे मैंने बोला, come to my house, we'll have a nice dish. It can be anything, right? But just as I'm adding more context to it, which means riceness, Indianness, sweetness, you can automatically get the context out of it.
Textual embedding.
How it handles the sarcastic and ambiguous context.
Yeah, so for that we have cross attention, multi-head attention. We are going to see that. So in transformer, there are like two blocks. One is encoder, other is decoder. In those blocks, whatever input sentence you give, it will be broken down into small components. And then based on those small components, the contextual embedding is being getting generated. Like this is the embedding of I, this is the embedding of made, this is the embedding of called, and so on. Once that is done, it will be passed to the decoder model, which is going to do the output probability prediction. So I made a sweet rice dish called. Then decoder what will do? It will say alpha ki probability 0.9, biryani ki 2.3, kheer ki 56.2. Based on that, how many top P values you have kept. These are some metrics. We don't have to go much detail into them. Based on that, the model will give prediction for this. Next word would be predicted, and whichever word has highest probability, that is going to be the output for you. Now I'll just let's say same example. If you read the above paragraph completely, and let's say I have just erased this word called a spacecraft, the chances of the next word, what could be? Spacecraft ke chances is 70%, vehicle ke chances 63%, banana or any other word, the chances are going to be very less. So what you're doing based on the previous paragraph, you're making the model giving some context, and based on that context, model is going to decide what could be the possible output for this. See, BERT model has 768 dimensions. GPT model has almost 12K dimensions. This is the vocab size. Vocab size basically means how many words have already their static embedding generated. Just say made ki static embedding could be there, I ki there, and of the all of those words have their static embeddings. So if you use BERT, it has 30K almost vocab size, and if you use GPT-3 model, it has almost 50K vocab size. This basically means 50,000 words. It has already this embeddings generated for it. See, first step is tokenization. What do we do? This is the input sentence. It has been broken down into small parts, right? Once it is broken down, all of those words have their static embedding, जो हमारे system में already is present. Then we attach the positions of it, as in I is at the first position, made is at the second position, and similarly for the other components. So first step is producing the static embedding. Second step is generating the positional embedding. And based on that, we'll have to figure out how each word is associated with the target word. So we'll assign some of the attention score to it. How attention score is calculated? For each and every word, it is being getting calculated. So let's say dish word, how much the association of dish word is there with other words. Let's say dish ka association with I is 0.2, made is 0.5. But which words are most important for my target prediction? See, sweet, Indian, rice, dish. Automatically they have more association. So based on that, this particular type of thing, the model does it in the backend, and whichever word has highest probability, that will come at the end. I'll give you a simple example. We'll try and understand this self-attention mechanism. Let's say you go to a librarian and you ask, can I get a book related to quantum computing? What he will do? Will he go and search the book at each and every rack, each and every shelf? No, right? He will go to a specific rack which has books related to quantum computing. Which particular rack or cupboard will have it? The cupboard related to science books. Then in that only he'll be able to find your quantum computing book. So the end user query is called as query, right? The different type of cupboards in which you can possibly find the solutions, they are called as key, and the exact thing that you are looking for is called as value. We'll look at one more example. Let's say a professor comes up in a class, there are 4 students sitting in that class, and he says, I want an essay to be written based on topic called as quantum computing. Now we have these 4 candidates, Meera, Mohan, Kethi, and Bob. Meera is expert in quantum mechanics, Mohan is expert in linear algebra, Kethi is expert in computer science, and Bob is expert in philosophy. So the question that the end user is asking is your query. These are like different people who are working here as a key. Now what about value? Abhi, if you see, since Meera is expert in quantum mechanics, she can write a better essay. Mohan is expert in linear algebra, so he won't be able to provide any such valuable insights. Kethi is expert in computer science, so she can give a little bit of insights. Similarly, Bob, almost na ke barabar would be the value addition for him. But the professor is not going to pick only the content that is being shared by Meera. What he'll do, he'll try to merge these different things together, and based on that, an entire quantum computing essay is going to be generated. See, similarly in this example, right? I made these 3 or 4 different words were responsible for producing the target. सबका अपना अपना association था. Sweet was 36% responsible. Indian was 14% responsible. Likewise. Similarly, इस example में, since Meera and Kathy, these are the 2 people who are expert in computer science and quantum mechanics, the professor will automatically take 60 and almost 30% of content from these guys, and rest pacha kucha content from the Mohan and Bob. Any questions till this part? I guess with this example, things are quite clear. You can't get into the mathematical intuition of it within this small amount of time. Learning about transformer takes more than 1 week, even if you're sitting for 10 hours every day. It is that complex topic, but I'm trying to make it very simple for it. So don't go into the mathematical intuition, just try and understand the concept. Okay. Similarly, based on that, attention score is going to be getting calculated. Once you have calculated the attention score, now the next part would be input data, static embeddings passed to the BERT or any other particular type of model. Then we do this key query value vector multiplication. We had this key query and value, right? We do the dot matrix multiplication of it, and based on that, the attention score is being getting calculated. See, K1 dot Q7. And then we apply the softmax. Softmax is a function in order to produce linearity. So it has ranked the probabilities of it likewise. And then now we'll use different type of attention heads. What do you mean by attention head? One attention head will focus on making the context, as in one attention head will focus on verb, one attention head is going to focus on action. Likewise, let's say I made a sweet Indian rice dish. Yahan pe the focus is towards the adjectives. In this particular sentence, the focus is towards the verb. In this particular sentence, the focus is towards the pronoun. So in the same sentence, we use different types of attention head in order to catch the context of the sentence. This basically helps you in order to deal with the problem of ambiguous nature. Right? जैसे हमारा last example था, my train is running late, या फिर I'm not able to track my train is running late on the track, या फिर I'm not able to track the parcel. So in this, the track word is same, like this, but in different sentence, there will be different attention heads that will be focusing on the adjectives, verbs, and pronouns of it. And based on that, attention score will be calculated, which will help us in telling what would be the reason behind it. So multiple attention heads are used in order to understand the different relationship between the input tokens, their semantic meaning, the positions, the syntactic understanding, so that we get a contextual rich embedding. See, one attention head, 2 attention head, 3rd, all attention heads are combined, given to the feed forward layer, and based on that, the output is getting predicted. So one could be cross attention, one could be self attention. So multiple attention mechanisms are being used in this. With this, we are done with the encoder part. Any questions? I know it will not be clear in the first go itself, but this is the logic behind the working of transformer. Based on that only LLMs are being working, and then we can jump on to the next part. Anyone has any questions, you can paste in the chat. If there are no questions, we'll jump on to the part. Okay. So now we'll try and understand where a standalone LLM falls short. So ChatGPT was launched in somewhere around 22, 23, right? At that point of time, it was not that accurate enough. If you try to ask something quite recent, since it was trained until 2022 data, 23 data, if you ask him any specific latest scenario, the model was not giving wrong answers, right? If you say 2 plus 2 is, model is saying 4, but you are saying 5, the model was trying to praise you, saying that no, 2 plus 2 is not 4, 2 plus 2 is 5, I'm wrong, actually I'm sorry. This type of output the model was giving. What was the reasons behind it? The data that it was trained on, it was quite static, the data was outdated, then it was leading to hallucination because the model doesn't know the true scenario, right? And there was no ability to act in order to understand the concepts very better. So based on this only, the next concept came into picture called as RAG, agents, and agentic AI. Now, let me give you a simple example. If you go and ask on Google, what is the notice period on RC Patel Engineering College? Do you think that Google will be able to give you accurate answer, or you'll be able to rely on this? Yeah, for let's say if you ask what is the probation period in RC Patel College, no, right? But again, even you can ask the same question to ChatGPT as well, Claude as well. Do you think they'll be able to provide right information? Any specific reason you think that they won't be able to give this correct answer? Because they are trained on enormous amount of data, 70 billion parameters, 1.5 billion records, multiple parameters they have been trained on. But the catch is they are trained on huge amount of data which is openly available and which is like general for all, but they are not trained on your organized specific data, or as Mohit mentioned, they are not trained on the internal policy data. This is exactly where LLM models fall short. So for that, what you need to do, you need to give some context to your model. You need to provide some files as in organization policies, SOP guidelines, HR policies. These documents you may need to feed to the model so that the model can take the understanding, the model can create its own knowledge base, and it will just use the LLM to rephrase your output or to understand your problem. But for searching the answer, it will use those specific files. This is exactly where RAG came into picture. So plain LLM is something like we know someone who is very good in English, but he doesn't know about data science, he doesn't know about data analytics, nothing as such. But if we give that specific person a test we call as a think like a data scientist. So because of this, what happened? He has his brain, but he got some context related to data science, different algorithms. This is nothing but called as RAG. In plain LLM, it doesn't have your organization specific knowledge or the exact problem that you're dealing with. If you want general answer, this can give. But if you want any specific answer, you have to feed some specific files to it. This is exactly called as RAG. Then again, RAG is able to solve a problem up to some extent. If you have to make something automatic, then you can use AI agent. And again, if you have to solve any complex problem wherein multiple agents are involved for each and every different task, you can give or use agentic AI application. Now, a quick question to all of you. What is the difference between AI agent and agentic AI? You can give an example or you can clearly state the difference. I would appreciate if you unmute and speak. What is the difference between AI agent and agentic AI? Yes, anyone? At least you can try and guess. कोई application का नाम लिख के this is an AI agent or this application is an agentic AI. Let me give you an example. Yeah, please go ahead.
I think agentic AI is providing some facilities which we can ask anything, and is giving it's giving some answers. That is work as an agent only, and that is agentic AI, and AI agents like the chatbots.
Can you give
Sir,
more examples so that audience can understand? Although Swati has mentioned, but again, that is quite generic. Can you give a relatable example so that everyone can relate?
But if you want to compare something, so we have to use agentic AI. And if you want simple answer, then the AI agent.
But again, if you use ChatGPT and you can paste a link of the product specifications from Amazon and Flipkart and then ask it to compare, it will easily able to do it. What is the key difference?
So suppose if you want to search a flight from Indore to Delhi, then the agentic AI will give only the 1 or 2 flight, but it will give the comparison. Means what will be the
Again, it
rate,
depends on
price.
your prompt. Let's say if you write a detailed prompt, give me a detailed report of what are the different flights which are available based on my timings, rank them based on the direct flight, minimal price, and total amount of time utilized for traveling. It will do it. Again, I'm saying it is not the lack of capability of the LLM model. It is you are not giving it right set of prompt to get the right set of information. Think of any other use case you can think of. Shivani has mentioned a tool that is used to
I
analyze
think
reports.
agentic AI is
Okay, I'll help you out. So let's say you are saying book a cab for me from here to airport. Okay, this can be done using AI agents, correct? But what if now, like we know, right? Ola, Uber, Rapido, the scam going on. What if the driver cancels it? What if the driver doesn't arrive on time? Does my AI agent know what to do? Is he aware of how much like I'm running late to what important things that I have planned? But now, let's say if I'm using Siri, if I'm using Alexa, or if I'm using Samsung devices wherein we have this Bixby, if I say that make sure that I'm using, make sure to book a flight for me, make sure to book a cab for me. I have a flight at 4 p.m. or the model will automatically check your calendar and get those details, right? Make sure that I reach the airport on time. Now, what this Alexa or Siri it will do, it will have different agents. One agent for calendar activities, one agent for booking the cab, other agent for making sure if that cab is getting cancelled, he will book another cab. One agent for the maps, as in he'll analyze the traffic. He'll find out, okay, आपको onboarding में ये सारी चीजें formalities complete करने में 90 minutes लगेगा. That means you should reach the airport at least 2 hours before, so that 30 minutes will have a buffer time. फिर considering the ETA, traffic situation, the traffic at the previous days and other stuff. So different agents are being utilized for analyzing different things, and based on that, a collective decision is taken. So AI agent is doing just a specific task. हुआ तो ठीक, नहीं हुआ तो fail. There is no fallback mechanism or rollback mechanism. But agentic AI is consisting of small AI agents combined together, wherein they collectively take a decision. Likewise, so that's अगर cab cancel हुई, book another cab. Rapido से नहीं हो रहा, Ola से जाएगा, Uber से जाएगा, फिर it will contact any local operator, and accordingly it will get the things done for you. You don't have to say कि मेरी फ्लाइट 4 बजे 2 बजे कैब बुक करो. It will automatically do it based on your डेली की जो भी दिनचर्या होगी या your calendar schedule is there. Likewise, it will do it. Like in our Siri, right? Siri automatically does this. Today you have this meeting, you're going to meet this person. There is a gap of just 30 minutes, so do make sure that you can have your lunch at that specific time, or you reach from location A to B at that specific time. How it does, it uses different agents, calendar agent, map agent, then one specific agent for commuting, as in Ola, Uber book karna ho, like this. So different agents are getting utilized. I hope this example is relatable and you're able to understand it. Any doubts? Would you like to repeat me again? Okay, let's come back to topic. So LLM basically means a plain model who has lot amount of data but doesn't know what exact information you are looking for. फिर आपको अगर generic information चाहिए कि who won the 2020 World Cup, you can ask to the plain LLM. But let's say आपको बहुत specific information चाहिए on which the large amount of LLM model might not be trained to. आपके organization specific हो सकती है, client specific हो सकती है. For that, you need to give some kind of awareness or some kind of context in terms of PDF file, Word file to the system. When you give some information to the system, then ask question. This is called as RAG. Then when you have to automate some particular thing, you use AI agent, which is used to do some specific predefined task. But let's say if this particular task fails and you particular output, this is called as agentic AI application. Yes, guys, any questions? Okay. Now we'll see what RAG is. Definition wise, retrieval augmented generation. I guess these things we have already covered. You can just take time to read it. Retrieval basically means searching and retrieving the right set of information from the knowledge base. Knowledge base basically means the PDF files or the Word files that you are uploading in terms of making the model aware about the specific context. Generation basically means generating the output. So first it will retrieve the information from your PDF file, it will augment it, process it, and then generate the output. Now we'll try to understand the difference between with RAG versus without RAG. Already हमने एक example देखा है, right? Let's say if someone goes and asks about the chatbot, how many paid leaves am I entitled to in this specific year? If you go and ask this question onto the Google, and let's say Google doesn't have this idea, ChatGPT को आपने बताया नहीं कि आपने XYZ company join किया है या कोई XYZ college join किया है, and then you ask this question, either it will refuse it or it will give any specific wrong answer. If it is giving wrong answer, that means it is hallucinating. But now let's imagine that you have uploaded your offer letter or any specific HR related document, and based on that, if you're asking the same question, now the LLM will strictly make sure that it is going to give you the answer based on the file that is being provided to it. Basically what RAG means. This is the core structure of RAG. You give this document file, it will read those document file, it will chunk those different paragraphs. Chunking basically means मैंने एक PDF upload किया, it has 3 pages, all the pages have four paragraphs. So it will create one chunk, let's say for one paragraph. Not necessarily it's going to be one paragraph, it can be some fixed length, it can be based on some other thing, but simple understanding, let's assume it is creating one chunk for each and every paragraph. Then these chunks are being converted into vectors, और वो हम vector embedding model में store करते हैं. Vector database में it is going to get stored. Now, once the user asks the query, let's say मैंने पूछा, what is my notice period? Yeah, how many leaves I'm entitled to in this year? Again, same process will happen. It will convert it into a query. Then it will search the vector embeddings into this vector.
उनकी बारे में बात करेंगे। अब पता है मुझे। हाँ, तो दो जो बात बोल रहे हैं कि
Umesh, can you please be on mute? So once you have asked the question, it will be converted into embeddings. These embeddings, it will go and search into this vector database. जैसे आपने पूछा कि how many leaves I'm entitled to. So इस किसी एक चंक में, थर्ड या फोर्थ चंक में इसका आंसर होगा. ये भी किसी वेक्टर डेटाबेस में जाके सेव हुआ है, जैसे हमने किंग का वेक्टर देखा था, क्वीन का देखा था, तो इट विल सर्च फॉर द वेक्टर ऑफ लीव पॉलिसी, और उसके पास से इट विल गेट द टॉप 2 or 3 चंक्स जिसमें आपका इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रेजेंट है. चंक्स को यू कैन कंसिडर एज अ पैराग्राफ, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट now LLM will just use those 2 or 3 chunks instead of this entire PDF file to combining it with your prompt to give you the output. This is how the output is getting generated. Again, I'll give one more example. Let's say if I ask ChatGPT to say I want extremely short one word answer, ठीक है, ये मैंने उसको prompt दिया. If I'm asking who won the 2020 World Cup, तो backend में क्या होगा? It will go and check the World Cup related news. It will go and see, okay, the 2020 World Cup was held in Wankhede Stadium between India and Australia at 7:30 p.m. in which India won by 3 wickets and XYZ person scored a century. But मेरे लिए सारी जानकारी important है क्या? ये सारा पार्ट किस में आया? LLM plus augmented prompt में आया. मैंने उसको क्या बोला था? I just want one word answer. तो उसने क्या बोला? User को पूरी जानकारी चाहिए, he just need a short answer. So at the end, what output I'm going to get? India won the match. Simple. मेरे को बाकी पूरी information से कोई मतलब नहीं. So the it is not like always the model is hallucinating. It is entirely based on how well you are structuring your problem statement, how well you have defined the context and given the prompt to the question. आप जितना अच्छा prompt दोगे, आपको उतना अच्छा output आएगा. This was about RAG. Any questions, guys, till now? But how can we give confidential document to RAG? Again, for confidential document, you don't need it to give it to RAG. You can solve it on your own. Otherwise, what you can do, you can erase some PII data, personal identity information, from that particular PDF file and then feed it to the model. So I would say it is not converting into numbers, it is converting into vectors. These vectors are getting saved into the vector database. And now next time when you ask any question, it will try to see which vector is more closer to me. So based on that, uska cosine angle calculate hota hai. So if the cosine angle is very near, so it says, okay, king and raja, somewhat similar hai. So for us particular chunk, it will try to figure out the answer for you guys. Mostly we're not advised to feed any kind of confidential documents. That's why these companies have this virtual machines, VDIs, in which you're not even allowed to copy paste or use ChatGPT as well. Okay, this is how basically the RAG workflow looks like. User query will be coming. What is the reimbursement limit for travel? Okay, ये user ने question पूछा. Next, query embedding model will come. It will convert it into vectors, and then it will go to the vector database. Then we'll have the similarity search. Based on the similarity search, it will try to find out the cosine angle. Okay, reimbursement limit से related cosine angle मेरे को कहाँ पे closest मिल रहा है? Okay, I get it in chunk number 5 and chunk number 6. So it will just use those two chunk, give it to the LLM. Now LLM will figure out कि इसमें से answer कहाँ है, instead of figuring out from all the chunks, and then give you a grounded response. Example C. जब मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा कैन आई कैरी फॉरवर्ड माय अनयूज्ड सिक लीव्स टू नेक्स्ट ईयर, बैकएंड में क्या होगा, एक पीडीएफ फाइल है एचआर पॉलिसी की विच हैज 12 पेजेस. उसमें से सेक्शन 6.2 में इट विल गो एंड फिगर आउट द आंसर. Section 6.2 is stored as a chunk because each section can be a chunk, each paragraph can be a chunk, each sentence can be a chunk. It depends on what chunking technique you have used. So it will only use that specific information, and then it will pass your context as a question, your any prompt that you have given, and then give you an answer that yes, you can carry forward to 8 unused sick leaves, and next rest of the days would be labs or you have to use it likewise. Jo bhi answer hai, it will give you. Now some case studies we can look into in terms of policy assistant. HR chatbots are there, finance related chatbot are there. Abhi if you are booking IRCTC tickets, there is a Disha chatbot, right, in IRCTC. Like HDFC Bank has its own chatbot, Axis Bank, other banks, all of those banks have their own chatbot. How it can help you, basically for each and everything, instead of asking to a customer care executive, you can ask it to a bot. And for the simple questions, that bot will be able to give you the answer. इसका सबसे ज़्यादा फायदा कौन सी कंपनीज को होता है? इफ यू लुक एट Amazon, Flipkart, Meesho, even if you try to call their customer executive, आप कितना भी ट्राई कर लो, most of the times the call is getting connected to a AI robot only. That robot only tries to answer your query after multiple times redirecting it to like एक दबाओ, 3 दबाओ, 4 दबाओ for इस query के लिए. ऐसे करते करते फिर your call gets connected to a real person or a real human who tries to solve your query. So with this, what happens? Bot जो है, it can be available 24/7, right? If we have humans, they might be on sick leave, they might be on Diwali leave, they might have other festivals, right? Efficiency is not guaranteed. Human can make errors, but the chances of machine making an error would be closer to impossible. So instead of having 100 people to do the job of a call center, I just can have 5 or 10 people, and rest 90 people I can replace them with agents. So what will happen? This AI agent or AI bot will try to solve the customer query. If they are not able to solve it, after a certain point of time, the call will get redirected or connected to the real executive that I have, so that I can save major amount of money. So there are like different types of RAG. We'll skip this one. There is a thin line of difference between fine tuning and RAG. So you can just read it out. What's getting changed? What thing is it is best for? And in which scenario, what tool you should use. If anyone has any queries, you guys can ask. Where we are using RAG. RAG we can use in any specific.
One question from my side. Sorry to disturb you. Can you please explain which ranking technique we can use or will be better in case of the RAG?
There are like different types of ranking technique based on the domain. and based on the type of document you have, let's say अगर आपके पास invoice वगैरह है, you can use different type of technique. Let's say you just have HR policy kind of PDF, you can use different type of re-ranker is there, different type of chunking techniques. So it is all about trying different techniques and figuring out which works best for your use case. ऐसा कुछ hard coded नहीं कि आपको यही use करना चाहिए.
Okay.
So Mohit is asking where we are using RAG. So you might be having this WhatsApp chatbots, right? SBI का भी है WhatsApp chatbot. Axis का within just a missed call or you say hi, automatically the WhatsApp will get the information from the Axis Bank and give you how you are using it, right? So again, that is using your specific mobile number. It is finding आपके mobile number से कौन सा bank account link है and then getting you the answer. How can I design or customize RAG? Suppose for my college. Okay, we're going to see that going ahead. You have an exercise for that. I'm going to demonstrate it. Okay, some challenges. Freshness, retrieved quality might be incorrect. Chunking strategy might not be good. Scalability is a big question mark. जैसे अगर आप पूरे college के लिए बना रहे हो RAG, so there can be different types of policies, different types of assignments, curriculum design. इतनी सारी चीजें अगर आप upload कर दोगे, again that model gets complex. The might be latency in the model, so you need to make sure कि आप उसको कैसे scale करते हो properly. That is a complete different part of system design and architecturing. Likewise. Now we'll see about AI agents. Take a pause of 2 minutes. You can read on your own. Chatbot क्या करता है? What is the cheapest flight? उसको पूछा, उसने आंसर बता दिया. AI agent क्या करेगा? AI agent will say, okay, book me the cheapest flight. What it will do, it will search, it will compare, it will book and take that specific action for you. That is the difference between a chatbot and a RAG. RAG is just used to do question answering, whereas AI agent is used to perform a specific action or do a specific task. Now we'll see for which specific types we need to use RAG or which specific type we can use the AI agent. So what are the limitations of that? So RAG can only retrieve the answers. It cannot do any specific action, right? It cannot do any kind of tool calling. It has its own constraints. Whereas AI agent, it can help you to achieve a goal or break a goal or break down a specific action into small actions. It can also do tool calling. कि कोड बेस में कुछ जाके एग्जीक्यूट कर दिया, डेटाबेस में जाके कुछ एग्जीक्यूट कर दिया, लाइक बुक द टिकट फॉर यू, बुक द कैब फॉर यू, likewise. These are the different components. LLM acts as a brain. Memory is used to store the context or the conversation, likewise. Say if you go to ChatGPT and ask something, ChatGPT already has a context. Okay, this XYZ person is working as a HOD in this college. So automatically आप जो भी मेल जनरेट कराते हो उसके नीचे लिखता thanks and regards RC Patel College HOD XYZ उसका name automatic आ जाता है. You don't tell it again and again. Why? Because in that memory it has stored those things. It can be used for planning. It can be used for tools, likewise. Now we'll see about the agent loop, how it can be executed. Till then, any other questions? They say my goal is to book a flight. What is the thought? I need to search for the flight based on the date. Next, what needs action? Automatically it will call the tool, the APIs, payment wala page on automatically phone pay, Google Pay, khol ke it will do the payment for you. Observation, it will get back the different list of flights and the prices for you. And if you say again, first it will observe, it will give you the list. Then if you say directly book it will book it. Otherwise it will tell you, okay, these are the flights, these are the top 3 based on your schedule, based on your budget and based on the timeline. So accordingly, this unless and until it is able to achieve the goal. Let's say the goal given to an agent is finding the total marks scored by a student across 3 subject sheets and email a summary to the class teacher. अब यहाँ पे 3-4 काम आपको perform करना है. So how this agentic AI agent would work is, सबसे पहले thought 1, which is I need to read 3 spreadsheets and then sum the marks column. Breaking the task into small task हम कर रहे हैं. पहला thought हो गया. First action, call the spreadsheet reader tool on sheet 1, sheet 2 and sheet 3. Next, again observation will come, which is these are the different marks present in those 3 spreadsheets. What is the thought 2? I have to read the spreadsheet. उसके बाद I have to sum it. So it will perform the sum. Now action 2, it will do call the calculator, which will do the sum. It will call the email sender tool to the XYZ email ID that you have mentioned. Final answer, email is sent to the teacher saying that the total score is 254 out of 300. This is what the AI agent, if you are using, this is the how the thought process behind it, the working behind it. Some case studies, travel planning agent, let's say you have. Just take time of 2 minutes and you guys can read through it. What is the problem? What is the agent solution? And what is the outcome? Automatically, the number of humans needed to be used for that specific action or task reduced. Time is reduced. Most of the things are automated, and you can just, instead of 10 people, you can have 1 people who is subject matter expert, and you just have to approve or deny the decision taken by the model, likewise, which we also say at human in loop. Single agent versus multi-agent system. Multi-agent system basically means researcher agent, writer agent, review agent. All of these are like working together. Then it can be used for scaling to a complex problem, or when you are working with multiple domain, dealing with multiple different types of data, likewise. So this can be used. A key difference between RAG and AI agents, you can read through it. Now we'll focus on the intelligent AI applications. Again, somewhat similar pipeline, but it is just that it is running in loop, different types. What makes the system intelligent is they are able to understand it. They're able to figure out what needs to be done. So they do the deciding parameter, acting, looping, calling that specific tool, and then they again improve that specific action. So you have this user query, which can be given to the RAG, which will have this vector databases. It will do the coding, execution, calculator, all of those things will be done. It will be calling the external APIs, then saving into the databases, and then final results will be computed and shared to you. Let's say you want to build an end-to-end enterprise AI assistant. So the scenario is a software company wants an AI assistant that can answer product questions, check the computer's live subscription status, and raise a support ticket all in just one conversation. So what would you use in this case? Would you use RAG? Would you use AI agent, or would you use agentic AI? You can unmute or you can reply in the chats.
So can you please show the slide once again? It is not visible.
Sure. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Just read the scenario, this part. What would you use and why? So if you see in the specific scenario, using a single tool is not going to be sufficient. So what you need to do, the questions or the information that you are trying to put the output to, it needs some knowledge base as well. How we can provide knowledge base using RAG. But with RAG, will you be able to solve 3-4 actions? No. For that, you need different type of AI agents. So if you use just one AI agent, you can say it is a AI agent. If you are using multiple agents together, that's why we say that this is agentic AI, plus you're using RAG as well, as in for feeding the organization specific or the company specific data to the model. That's why it will be a combination of RAG plus agentic AI plus AI agents, likewise. Because RAG will retrieve the documents from the knowledge base, the agent will do the tool calling, and there will be different type of agents for doing the rest of the task. So If multiple agents are combined together, the system is called as agentic AI. And what would be the output? One assistant will replace these three separate tools with a single, natural, accurate, and actionable, capable conversation. That is what intelligent basically means in the specific use case. A key line, key differences between the plain LLM, RAG versus AI agent versus agentic AI. Take time, read it. If you have any queries, you can ask. LLM model only has training data. Training data basically means it's a ChatGPT. ChatGPT is trained on 70 billion records, so it doesn't have your organization specific data. Generic data hai. Whereas RAG has the external documents, which basically means your organization data, your specific data from which you're trying to fetch the answer. AI agent will have some tools with it. Agentic AI will make it very dynamic by combining all of these things together. All of them cannot take the action. Only AI agent and agentic AI can take the action. It can do multiple retrievals, it can go into loop likewise, whereas others cannot go. And some use cases are in which application you should use in which type of scenario. Any questions till this part? Some industry applications take time, read through it, different domains in which we can use it and how we can use it. Nowadays, there is a bot inside Ola, Uber. Every application has their own bot inside it. Any questions, guys?
There is one question in the chat box, sir.
ChatGPT or Claude,
ChatGPT
etc.
or
agentic
Claude.
AI or AI agents. No, they are just AI agents. If you integrate something with it, they say, if you use ChatGPT and ask what is the notice period, ChatGPT doesn't know, right? If you feed your organization documents or HR policies to the system, then that becomes a RAG model, RAG plus AI agent. But now, let's say you have integrated Naukri, you have integrated LinkedIn with it, and you have uploaded your CV. Now this become an agentic AI system. Why? It has your CV, it knows about your organization policy, it knows about your notice period. Based on that, it has access to these different tools, LinkedIn, Naukri, and other tools out there. It will automatically go and apply for jobs on your behalf based on your document saying that okay, iska 90 days ka notice period hai. They want immediate joiner, I'll not apply. Yes, 30 days of notice period. They are ready to wait for someone with 30 days of notice period. It will apply on your behalf at that particular location. So a lot of decision making is involved, a lot of different tools are involved. That's why we say that it is a agentic AI system. So it depends on the task that you're dealing with. So Jyoti is asking self-driving cars. Again, one of the use cases you can say. Query to the prompt given by the user decides whether LLM, RAG, or AI agent or agentic AI. So again, if you are using ChatGPT and you are saying what is my notice period, you have not uploaded any kind of knowledge base or reference material for it. So it is just a plain LLM or the LLM with the brain, but it doesn't have context. जब आप आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की फाइल्स दोगे तब वो रैग हो जाएगा. जब आप उसको कोई और एक टूल के साथ इंटीग्रेट करोगे या कोई एक्शन परफॉर्म करने बोलोगे, देन इट इज एन एआई एजेंट. व्हेन यू इंटीग्रेट मल्टीपल टूल्स, give this RAG plus ask it to perform some specific action which has some decision making, multiple agents being called, and then executing a specific part, it becomes agentic AI. Any other questions? Okay. These are the different use cases, some design considerations and best practice. अगर आपको hallucination और ये सारी चीजें रोकनी है, तो what you can do, you can keep a human in loop. It will help you to validate the decision taken by the model. You can use best retrieval techniques. You can do different type of evaluation frameworks. You can make sure that the answers are grounded. You can try to reduce the complexity. Just read through it. So ChatGPT are straightforward LLMs, but when I have uploaded some files, they are like LLM plus RAG. When you upload some tool, they are LLM plus agentic AI. When you upload multiple tools, give you RAG, then it becomes an agentic AI system. I know you guys have not explored it to an agentic AI level जहाँ पे आपने उसको multiple tools जैसे Excel के साथ integrate कर दिया, PowerPoint के साथ integrate कर दिया, Figma के साथ integrate कर दिया, then it becomes an agentic AI system because now it is doing the decision making and executing it likewise, not just giving you output. Yes, we are going to see chatbot. We can skip that. Some key takeaways, you can just read it, then we'll jump on to the activity. Key summary of the entire session. Just read it once and then we'll go and jump on to the hands-on activity. Different sources. Okay. Any questions? I'll quickly show
Yes, sir.
machine learning use case to you guys first, and then we'll jump on to the agentic AI use cases likewise. Yes, participants, any questions? Okay. So see, this is a problem statement in which we are trying to predict whether the patient has any type of risk or not. As you might have seen, right? If someone is admitted into the hospital, there are a lot of instruments attached to that specific person. One is doing the SpO2 monitoring, heart rate, and other things are getting monitored, right? So based on that, उस type के data पे I have did this model building, and based on that model, I'll not give a code walkthrough because it will take good amount of time and all of you might not be able to understand it. I'll just quickly show you on the UI side how it will look. Patient deterioration risk. So I just created a local version of it so that I can like give you a demonstration. Let's say I'm giving the patient ID as AB123. Okay. What is the age of that person? I'll say the age is 60. Gender is male. Any kind of specific count that person has, let's say 1 or 2. These are like medical domain terms. We don't have to go into much detail into that, right? Now, what is the SpO2 of that person? Let's say it is 80. Per reading, it is this much. Heart rate is somewhat 100, and respiratory rate is somewhat 25, let's say. Okay, I've given these inputs. Now, based on this, I'll ask the model. Now you tell me what are the results based. If I want to add any clinical notes, I can do that. And the latest observation, if you want to add key, उस person का temperature कितना, you can add it. Let me make it 38 degrees. Once done, you have to click on access risk. The system will run, see, it has fetched it. And based on that, it is saying, okay, the percentage of the health of that particular person getting deteriorated या खराब होने के chances is 73%. Model threshold we have kept for 50%, and the assessment time was based on the last 15 minutes 43 seconds या 15 hours 43 minutes, like जो भी आपने time duration set किया होगा. And these are the different inputs that you have given. You can either view it, download it, search for it, or maximize it. Any more details if you want, you can check in this. Now let's say if I reduce all these values and then access the risk. I'll make the age as 30. Now see, the deterioration risk has been reduced by 35%. And accordingly, so whenever you're creating any kind of coding file, you cannot show this particular type of code to the client. So what you need to do, आपको इसका एक UI बनाना पड़ता है. So there are like different type of tools available out there. Like we have Figma, we have Streamlit, we have Lovable. Based on that, आप ऐसे एक user interface create कर सकते हो, and then you can show the end client कि this is how the results are going to look like to an end user. अब ये हो गया machine learning related. Now we'll see a little bit about this is for one of the coaching institute that I am associated with. So I've created an automation tool for them. So let's say if any specific sales executive is talking to a candidate, right? Based on that, they will take some inputs, and then that LLM model is going to decide whether that particular person should opt in for any course or not. If he should opt, either he should go for data science, machine learning engineer, agentic AI program, or this FDE program called as faculty, not faculty development program. This is forward deployed engineer, which is like quite booming in the market. So this is the code related to that. I have given him some knowledge base and other things likewise, path, some rule, some gaps I've made it understood. I'll just show you the UI for this. Just refresh it. Just give me a minute, I'll reshare my screen. I guess there is something wrong with the deployment activity. It is not working properly. I'll just tell you what the end goal was for that specific project. Share my screen. यहाँ पे you have imported the necessary libraries. Based on that, you are trying to determine the career path for it. Okay, you have given some rules as in what are the necessary inputs that you are going to take from the user. Those you have noted down. Alternative options you'll be noting down, and then you have created a function key. These are the different inputs that I'm going to accept from the user. This is a related code. Now the inputs how you're going to save. The student email ID is going to be saved in this tab. Mobile number, advisor name, the recommended path, and all of those things are mentioned in this. Once that is done, it will go through a file which has some kind of rules that we have predetermined, and based on that, the assessment would be done. And this is the kind of report that is going to be displayed key. This is the current role, this is the current salary, likewise. Target rate, target CTC, and what is the exact problem. Let's say the candidate is getting rejected in L2 and L3. This particular type of feedbacks are there. So based on that, you can check if it is working properly or not. So काफी बड़ा code होता है, अलग-अलग type के logic होते हैं, and then you can visualize it on the UI side. I'll also have one more example. These are my top 5 picks based on in what specific scenario, what different tools you can source. Let's say if any kind of general assistance is there, you can use ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, LayChat is there. These are the different tools that you can use it. Let's say if you want to do anything specific to research, you can use Perplexity, you can use Notebook LM, you can use Illich, or Consensus there, ChatGPT search is there, you can use that thing. ChatGPT also, we have this option of, let me just quickly open it up. यहाँ पे once you go into this, you have option कि आप क्या use करना चाह रहे हो, deep research, visualization. You can select what you would like to use. Again, in this we have an option whether you want the intelligent output, instant output, fast, which model you would like to use. So all of these things are pretty much customizable. So based on your specific need, you can decide what things need to be used. Again, यहाँ पे आप specify कर सकते हो whether you would like to use it for creating images, editing something, or you're researching something. Likewise, you can integrate some plugins, and other extensions are available out there. So research के लिए these are the different tools. For coding, we have Cursor, Claude Code, GitHub Copilot, Windsurf is there, and Bolt.new is also there. Image, we have Sora model, 11 Labs, VO is there. AI agents के लिए we have LangGraph, LangChain, Crew AI, Amazon Bedrock agent. So these are the different tools. I'll do one thing, मैं इसको copy paste करके chats में डालता हूँ, तो you guys can access it anytime. Okay, which LLM model you have used? I have used this Bedrock model in one of the use cases, and other use cases I'm using Grok model. Grok model is free of cost, but it is able to handle not complex queries, simple queries only it is able to handle. And you can just search for Grok. You will get the free API keys for it, and you can use it for, it will be only working, I guess, for initial 10-15 questions. Uske baad it will ask you for upgrading or purchasing the keys. Dataset for machine learning problem, you can get the dummy dataset from Kaggle. Kaggle pe jao, dalo heart disease prediction dataset, Titanic dataset, then any loan defaulter dataset like this. You can go in Kaggle and search onto that. I'll share my email ID. Yep. Any other questions, guys?
Attendees can ask the questions. You are unmute.
If you have any specific feedback, you can share that as well. I'm going to share my LinkedIn URL as well. So basically, I'm working at InfoBeans as a principal consultant, which is somewhat similar to a solution architect, or you can say forward deployed engineer type of role, wherein we are a single point of contact for the client, wherein we solve multiple purposes. As in, I'm only the product manager, I'm only the AI product delivery person, I'm only the person taking off with client calls, project kickoffs, doing the requirement gathering, doing the data analysis kind of work. So starting from requirement gathering, pre-sales call, till all the activities, including deployment, and at the end, making sure that the client is happy with the model performance. We are going to pitch other customers as well. So all of those activities are being done by a single person. So this particular type of role is called as forward deployed engineer. By the way, I'm also associated with multiple institutes, coaching organizations out there, wherein I take decisions related to data science, agentic AI, forward deployed engineer role, DevOps kind of role. So if anyone is interested, you guys can reach out on the email ID or the mobile number that I have shared. Although the topic that we have covered, it is quite big. It generally takes 2 or 3 months to understand this entire concept, but I have tried to reduce it in such a format that in layman words, I can make you guys understand what is the impact of it, why you should learn it, and how it can help you in your day-to-day activities for the different tasks that you're going to do. So in ChatGPT, there is an option like you can create a persona for yourself. So next time when you say, you don't have to say कि it should be polite, it should be short. आप ये सारी instructions एक बार में model को feed कर सकते हो. Next time you just have to give your question. Automatically it will remember the persona and it will solve your query in that specific fashion. So YouTube पे जाके search करो कि how to use ChatGPT effectively, how to use Copilot effectively. एक 2 घंटे की videos, even if you see, it will eventually help you to solve your day-to-day activities or day-to-day tasks within a quick span of time. Hugging Face models are there, Olama models are there, they are free that you can use, but I would suggest use Grok, which is like very easy to use. Just आपको एक API लेना है, कुछ installation वगैरह कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं. And for code, you can use Codex or Cursor or Anti-Gravity. RAG and all, if you want to learn, I would suggest CampusX करके एक YouTube channel है. That is quite good. Refer to the playlist that he has shown in that his channel. Likewise, they are very informative. I've also learned with that only. I'll just quickly show you how you can use Codex or Cursor Anti-Gravity. See, in chat, if you go, automatically it is using Copilot. So with it, you can easily get like at least 10-15 queries resolved. But if you want more to be done, you can use Codex. This is integrated with your ChatGPT account if you have paid version. Like I have the paid version, and you can type in your query. So even if you open any chatbot editor, or even if you go to ChatGPT and say, help me with building a RAG model, and this is the API key that I'm going to use for Grok. You can just give it, it will automatically create the model for you. You just have to feed your organization specific document to it, and based on that, it will be done. Of course, एक बार में नहीं आएगा because you'll not be giving that effective prompt. You'll have to say कि ये error है, resolve it, run it likewise. So it will use some amount of token, but eventually you'll be able to come to the answer likewise. So do try to make sure that you're practicing it. Channel name is Campus X. Yes, guys, we have 5 more minutes. Any questions, any queries? Anything else would you like to know? Any specific thing that you are using in your day-to-day activity, but it is not helpful, or anything that you do on day-to-day basis, but you're not sure as in which AI tool to use likewise. So we can discuss that. Okay, then I guess Preeti ma'am, we are done. We're good to close.
Attendees, if you have any query, still you can ask. We have 5 minutes. It was great session, sir. Really.
Thank you.
So starting from the AI umbrella, then going with the ML model phases, then you have nicely covered with the different use cases, ki how the particular LLM is differs from the RAG is different, or the pipeline or the what we can say, the flow of LLM, RAG, AI agent, agentic AI. Very nicely you have covered this. Great session it was, sir.
Thank you guys. I've already mentioned one resource, which is CampusX, that you can see. Apart from CampusX, again, you can use official documentations which are there, like Analytics Vidya is there, Geeks for Geeks is there. These two are quite good pages. आपको जो भी algorithm सीखना है, just go linear regression, Geeks for Geeks, logistic regression, Analytics Vidya, या फिर RAG, Geek for Geeks. बस उसका नाम डाल दो automatically. They have a detailed documentation of different parameters that you can use in likewise.
Actually, we will be very happy if we have a session of a whole 3 to 5 days FDP for RAG, based on RAG.
Sure, we can take it sometime soon. Can you suggest some category-wise top picks for LLM according to you? Category and top picks. I would say if you're using free, go ahead with Grok. Some open source or Chinese models are also there, but again, if you're using it for your organization specific data, there are high chances that your information leak ho sake, misuse ho sake. Grok is the simplest and safest option, and now it is being backed by this Elon Musk company, is there, right? SpaceX, they have like taken this Grok, so try to use it, and that will be very helpful. Yes, guys, any other queries?
Any queries from the attendees?
I do have some
Okay, I think
PDF files and knowledge bases with me. I'll share it with the Preeti ma'am, and then she can forward it in your
sure,
groups
sir.
likewise.
I will share with the participants. Sure. Your slides are also were very, very presentative and very some of what we can say. All content was very catchy, sir. Actually.
Thank you.
So I think no queries from attendees right now. So on behalf of Department of Data Science, RCPIT Shirpur, I sincerely thanks to Mr. Amol Mahajan sir for having this great session based on the RAG and agentic AI. It was a very wonderful session. So thank you, sir, for your valuable time you have given to us and made your session very, very nice. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate your feedback. These things basically encourage me to take more sessions and deliver quality output likewise. It was nice interacting with you guys.
We will be happy, sir.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thanks. Attendees, our day 5 will be on explainable AI and the AI applications by Mr. Praveen Kumar Loharkar, sir. So that will be the end of our FDP. So we are going to attend that. Okay. Hope see you tomorrow there. Feedback and the quiz link is already shared by the Pathak, sir.
Yes, kindly submit the feedback and quiz before 8 p.m. today.
Yes, now session is over. You can leave the meeting.